Environmentalist Foundation of India, more popularly known as EFI, is working towards cleaning and restoration of water bodies for biodiversity. Since their inception in 2007, they've cleaned up 137 water bodies across 15 states in India. They work on the motto, "We volunteer for India and our environment." Talking to us today is Mr. Arun Krishnamurthy, the founder of EFI, on the various activities they undertake.
Every lake or a pond is often misunderstood as just a surface water body where we can see sheets and sheets of water. We don't understand that every lake or a pond is a habitat in itself which houses frogs, snakes, crabs, turtles, birds, so many different life forms. Lake is a magical world in itself. To abuse and exploit a lake happens only when we don't understand its significance. Having grown up in suburban Chennai, where I grew up with several water bodies in my neighborhood, I know the value of water bodies, and that's exactly why we started cleaning lakes and ponds, and our focus has been on lakes, ponds, riverine systems, natural habitats that we can restore for all life forms. Ranging from groundwater penetration, where human beings directly depend on underground water source. So a lake or a pond is necessary to replenish these groundwater resources. Lakes and ponds also play a big role in localized temperature regulation. Lakes and ponds need to be cleaned so that it doesn't cause any waterborne diseases to the neighboring individuals. Also, every lake or pond, as I mentioned earlier, is a habitat, and it's important to protect these habitats for all life forms. And of course, in the era of climate change, where we have abundant rainfall in a very short span, or we have no rainfall for a really long time, a lake or a pond becomes that balance. It helps us prevent localized flooding, inundation, and combat drought-like situations. Climate change is a reality, and most often it's not fully understood or it's being denied. So we are focusing on climate literacy, water literacy, wildlife literacy, so that people understand that every action of ours has an impact on the planet, and we have to live a sustainable life. Ranging from school, university-based orientation programs to corporate volunteers who brought in every weekend in the pre-pandemic phase which I'm speaking about, we try to rope in as many people as possible for voluntary efforts, and that's exactly how we are trying to take on climate change within our local perspective. We've seen many natural calamities ranging from the floods of 2015 or the droughts that we've experienced 2018-19 period. We've had a lot of water and we were in trouble, and we had absolutely no water and we were in trouble. It's not about protecting the planet anymore. It's about our life, our livelihoods. And when you look at a large megalopolis like Chennai, from the urban rich to the urban poor, the divide on who gets affected by climate change. So all of this needs to be discussed, and that's why it's important to us that we work on projects which help us mitigate, combat climate change induced calamities in our local perspective. A lot of volunteers have come out to strengthen efforts of ours at EFI on field. And there are so many other organizations, so many young leaders, so many people from different walks of life who are participating in real-time result-oriented conservation. One thing which I've realized is everybody wants to be good. Everybody wants to participate in planet conservation efforts. They just don't know where to begin and where to start. EFI or other organizations are platforms through which people are realizing and living their planet life. So I'm definitely hopeful, and I think we would learn it the hard way in the future too, and we will definitely change for the better. The floods of 2015 in my city, where I saw several people affected, where many of the landmarks that we knew went underwater, or the massive drought that we actually had to go through, where we had limited water for all our purposes, and the whole wildlife population decline that I've witnessed in the last 20 years in the neighborhoods where I've lived is definitely something that bothers me, and climate impact is very much there, causing very many grave changes in all our lives, and it is a reality. A humble request. We think we're superior because we can walk straight and talk loud, and we fail to understand that we are just one of the several species in this planet. We share all of nature's resources with all other life forms. I humbly request everybody to look at how much waste are we generating on a daily basis. Solid waste, liquid waste. What are the kind of products that one is using, ranging from a soap to a shampoo to detergents to chemical products. How much toxic waste are we sending out of our homes, part of our lives? What is the packaging waste that we generate in our everyday basis or a weekly lifestyle? All this needs to be thought about, and we definitely need to think about fellow human beings of the social order. We need to think about wildlife. We need to think about the planet. Please put in a thought into 3 W's. It is not the World Wide Web that I'm talking about. I'm talking about waste, water, and wildlife. Thank you.